Hello and welcome to our channel. Welcome each of you old listeners and to each of you new listeners. We're really grateful that you've taken time out of your day to listen to some Dhamma. Today's talk is also part of the 37 Wings to Awakening, and it's entitled the Satipattana. That's one of the suttas in the Pali Canon that is the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So in the last talk we mentioned the importance of mindfulness. I'll be doing that in nearly every talk. Without mindfulness and clear comprehension, we cannot practice a right effort. So today it's page 50 in the Satipattathana booklet, if you'd like to follow along down at the bottom. The first one is mindful contemplation of the body. This sutta is a good example of the importance of being able to think, to use the mind, to investigate, to analyze the teachings of the Buddha. In Vipassana meditation, we are not trying to calm the mind down to a point where there's no thought. We try to calm the mind down to the point where we can direct the thought, we can control the thought, we can manage what we're doing. We don't allow the mind to wander off on various topics. If we're going to contemplate body, the simple definition is that it has 4 elements: earth, air, water, and fire. The material body, the body of all physical behaviors, the matter and physical energy. These are definitions for rupa, or the body. The rupa is not really the physical body or the world. It's the contact we make with it. The mind is the real thing. The body is just a phenomena. It's something that arises and passes away, whereas our ultimate mind does not. So the body, if we investigate it, we see it's a living cemetery. There's nothing beautiful inside the body. There's nothing really beautiful that comes out through the body, the pores of the skin, the mucus in our nose, our excrement, our sweat, etc. There's nothing really beautiful about it, and we have to constantly keep it clean and try to keep it healthy. And the body is not the source of our suffering. Suffering is there because of wrong view. Now, these are contemplations that we must make when we're investigating the body. In a 10-minute talk, I simply can't even mention the most important parts of our meditation, so I'm going to talk as fast as I can, and please understand I simply can't go into any detail. The second part of the Satipattana Sutra says the mindful contemplation of body sensations. Body sensations are called Vedana. This is from page 45. It's a pleasure or comfort, ease, a pleasure, pain, or neither pain nor pleasure, neutral feelings. So all these feelings or sensations, I prefer the word sensations, are dependent on contact by way of the world through the 6 sense doors. So we don't know anything about the world if we don't make contact with it through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body contact. Vedana is the feeling, the sensation aspect of mind which displays the results that become apparent to us, coming from sanya, our memory, and sankaras, the acknowledgement by way of consciousness. So we're going to investigate the difference between the body and the sensations that arise on the body, why they arise on the body, and how they arise. These sensations may be extremely subtle and not obvious to your normal consciousness, but all contact through the six sense doors includes sensations arising on the body. Then we interpret those sensations as pleasurable, not pleasurable. We like them or we don't like them, or we're neutral. The third step in the Satipattana Sutta is the mindful contemplation of the mind. Notice here again this word mindful, mindfulness. It is essential in the practice of Vipassana meditation. So what is mindful contemplation of the mind? Obviously, the mind has to examine itself. There's nearly 2 pages in the Kamathena booklet, starting on page 43, trying to define the nature of the mind. So in this case, the mind is all forms that consciousness takes. If there is consciousness, we can refer to it as the mind. What it's conscious of, we refer to as the mind. There's various categories and vocabularies that we use to talk about this one thing called consciousness. So the chitta in the Pali language is the mind or the heart. It's a state, whatever state of consciousness you're in. The world that you live in is whatever you're aware of in the present moment. That's your life. That's your whole life. That's your whole world, whatever you are conscious of in the present moment. These are thoughts and images that are created as into a memory and into sensations and into sankaras. The mind, when the mind performs the duty of thinking, it's called chitta. So I recommend you look up on page 44 for further definitions of what it is that this mind that we have, how it works, and how to better investigate it. The fourth statement for the Satipattana Sutta is we must mindfully contemplate mental phenomena and mind objects. So we were just saying that first we need consciousness, we need mind in order for us to navigate through the 5 senses, this thing we call the world. But there's another world that we live in, which is our mental world. And in that world, there's perceptions, recognitions, cognizing, recollecting, memory, reminiscing, all that sort of thing falls under the category of memories. Once we've had an experience, it gets lodged in memory. And along with that experience, we also have an opinion of that experience. That opinion is based on the sensations that arose during the time we were having that experience. And then the mind also takes these mental formations. It's the ability of the mind to create all kinds of imaginations, thoughts about the future, opinions that we have, views that we have, and that mind also recollects or remembers things from the past, embellishes them, connects them to ideas we have about the future. So this is actually a process. you can actually witness this happening in the mind when you develop concentration that is strong enough, focused enough, and powerful enough to watch the mind express its natural behavior. And once we can do that, we can also become the master of the mind. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the end. I hope there's some ideas here that you realize need further investigation, further contemplation. This would be the practice of the Satipattana Sutta, which is given actually as the definition of what right effort looks like. Okay, thank you. Always feel free to contact us if we can be of any help.